Hello, Gemini, and welcome to Indigo Rising Tarot. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope you're having a great day. This will be your weekly reading for the week of July 26th through August 1st, and during that time we have a waxing gibbous moon for the first part of the week. And waxing gibbous is a good time for planning. We're kind of into those things that we started during the new moon, but we're showing that we can be flexible and make adjustments as we're working on those things. We then kind of have an interrupter with the full moon that comes in on the 30th. For some, maybe not for all, but that's a time of heightened emotions. You might feel overwhelmed and anxious, maybe have trouble sleeping. You might just feel really full of energy, and anything that you're working on might just get a little bit of a boost as well. So make sure that you need to practice, if you need to practice patience and calm, that you do that. If you get that real high energy, just kind of breathe through it. If you get a little anxious and irritable, make sure you're managing that as well. So this will be an intuitive general reading for energies that you may or may not encounter this week, Gemini. So as always, please take what resonates and leave what doesn't here on the table for someone else. And your overall message for this reading is that you and your loved ones are safe. And anytime I see that card, I sometimes think of kind of natural disaster type things. So, whatever, be careful of just any nature things that might be going on this week in the weather. It's kind of far out for me to tell what that might be, really. But, in the summer we get a lot of heat, we get a lot of weird storms can pop up, flooding, that sort of thing. So just make sure that things around you are safe. All right, let's get into this reading. Oh, well, actually, as I'm shuffling, my fun weekly reminder is that you get out into nature. So make sure you're doing that if the weather is good, at least. But, get out at night. We've got that full moon. If you can get out and witness that, full moons are just beautiful to see. Gaze at the stars a little bit, maybe get your telescope out, check that out. Maybe go on a hike during the day, swim in a lake, maybe feed some ducks. Just get out in nature and really take the time to just clear your mind and just really try to connect with nature a little bit this week. And that is my fun weekly reminder for you, Gemini. All right, let's get into this reading. July 26th through August 1st, you and your loved ones are safe. Your present energy right now is the Judgment card. So you may be feeling judged. You may be making a judgment on something. Judgments usually come around when there's some sort of new awareness. This could be just some truth that comes to light for you. Maybe you've evaluated something and you've made a decision about something, just made a judgment on it, right? It also could be that you're feeling judged for some reason because of some information that has come around. But whatever that is for you, make sure you're just managing that. Your current situation right now is the Two of Pentacles. So you feel like you're kind of juggling your financial world and the real world and just trying to keep it everything and all the balls in the air. And that's just a feeling that you're having right now is your current situation. So make sure that you're kind of relaxing through life a little bit too. It isn't always about trying to keep all those balls afloat. Sometimes just take a breath, so take a beat, relax a little bit. But if you're doing that, if you need to manage things, of course, ask people around you, ask your spouse, ask your, friends, whatever. If you feel like you just can't keep all the balls going, just ask for help, open your mouth and ask a little bit. At the root of your situation is the Tower. So maybe some sort of disruption that you've got going on, and maybe that's why you're making some sort of judgment. A disruption could be, anything from as small as a flat tire to something even just more catastrophic. Again, you and your loved ones are safe. So hopefully it's not the latter. Hopefully, and even if it is, this tarot reading will be your warning to kind of just take the right precautions. Let's say there's a tornado warning, go ahead and get in the basement, get wherever safe that you need to go. Don't be that person who's like, oh, we're fine, it's good. Just take the precautions that are being put about you if those kind of weather precautions are around. I know some people like to not do anything. Where of course I'm the opposite. I will be in the basement, don't worry. But yeah, if something like that comes about, because that's kind of at the root of this, is this information that's coming to you and feeling like you're juggling things and judging things is because of some disruption. So in your recent past, here is the Ten of Pentacles. So, you're coming into this from feeling like you're pretty accomplished. You think about things long term. You're pretty comfortable when it comes to wealth and security, that sort of thing. And you bring that into this whole situation. So at least you have some wisdom on your side there, which is really good. what's on your mind is the sun. And you're like, I wish this tower would just go away so I can focus on my happiness. And maybe that's why you're feeling this judgment. It could just be, again, that it's some little disruption that comes through. You've got to manage it, you've got to deal with it. But just do so quickly. Do the best you can and get back to just feeling that happy feeling. Get back to being out in nature. Get back to, relaxing and just get things accomplished as you need to. What is just ahead of you this week is the Three of Swords. So a little bit of a disappointment. Obviously, there's something going on here that's a little bit brokenhearted for you. Again, it could be this tower and the judgment, that sort of thing. Whatever this thing that your management, and I don't even see, and I know this is a card with a card with a heart in it, but this is sword energy, and I almost feel like it's, it's very mental. It's like a mental, um, like a mental disruption where it's like, kind of like, oh, I got to deal with this right now, especially when it comes in on your future, and we've got this at the root. So, I just feel like, it's like red tape, just stuff you have to deal with, and stuff that, of course, it may get to your heart where you're just like, oh, just disappointed that I have to deal with all of this right now. But that's life. Some things like that always come up, right? In your advice position is the King of Swords. So be your rational, logical self to just manage everything. That's the best way to do it. The King of Swords is about knowledge. It's about knowing about the situation. So if it's something you need to take in and learn about, go ahead and do that. But it's also about logic. So you're just taking those logical steps and you're doing the very, very logical thing, which is just what you need to do at this time to manage all of this. What is beyond your control this week? Four of Cups, which I swear I've seen this. I think last week as well, but I've also seen it now this week in the readings too. And it's beyond your control for the universe to offer you something that you're not thrilled about. And what's been coming to my mind is that make sure that you're not saying no to everything, because sometimes the universe is offering you, it's like a stepping stone to the thing that you want. So while it might not be the thing that you want, it might be some stepping stone towards it. Maybe it's closer to a person that you need in your life, or a situation that you need, or someone that you need to know. So don't always say no to everything. Sometimes just be like, yeah, you know what? I will say yes to whatever it might be. Even though it's not really what I really want, it might lead to something bigger and better. What is your secret desire, or what are you trying to avoid? Is the Six of Cups, which is about, it's about reminiscing, it's about nostalgia. And is it your secret desire to kind of get into that mood a little bit? This could be through, talking to old friends, or just talking about old times. It could be music that comes up that makes you feel nostalgic, or are you just trying to avoid that this week? I mean, I see this sometimes as a way to, it's a little escape. It's a little bit way of a way to have fun, to put on music from a time when you were young and youthful. And it's just fun to go back and let your energy get in those nostalgic times, right? And that it can be fun and relaxing and happy. So it might be something that you want to do, but that'll be a question you need to ask yourself this week. Is it your secret desire to kind of get into some nostalgia, or are you trying to avoid that at all? In your outcome this week is the Two of Wands. So you're definitely thinking about the future. It might even just be the near future. That also puts two twos on the table. So I want you to look up angel number 22, see if that has any significance on what's going on in your world right now. But you and your loved ones are safe. I don't see that there's a whole lot going on. I mean, we've got this tower and it's kind of bringing you to this new awareness, and you're kind of, I feel like you're more annoyed than anything, and it's not anything that's a huge, huge deal. So just kind of manage it again and get about your life, because by the end of the week, you're thinking about the future. All right, let's see what's hidden from you here. At the bottom of the deck is the Magician. So it's not a week really for manifesting things. I feel like it's kind of, you're going to be managing whatever this is. So it's not like you're, having that kind of the luxury of that kind of time to also go, okay, let me stop and quiet myself and see what I want. Again, it's that full moon energy. So make sure you're managing that well and not being too snappy and irritable through all of this and through whatever this disruption might be for you. So keep calm, Gemini. Keep calm and carry on, right? All right, let's see what you need here. Her final message from the Soul Oracle deck. Final message for Gemini here in this reading. Forgive and forget. So maybe this is this judgment. maybe forgive and forget. So whatever you have going on there that you need to, and of course this will be different for different Geminis, but maybe just forgive and forget is the best way to go about it. Let's see what you need to do in the way of self-care this week. Self-care for Gemini this week. If they have time to do it, which you need to make time if you don't have the time. And your card says speak up, which instantly makes me think about the King of Swords here, who would speak up in his logical way. If you avoid conflict to keep the peace, you start a war inside yourself. So speak up. Whatever it is, this could be about the Tower, it could be about this Judgment, it could be this King of Swords, but it looks like you do need to do some speaking up this week, also to forgive and forget whatever's going on. So Gemini, I'm not sure. This is like, I mean, again, I feel like it's kind of an annoyance, something that's going on that you're more annoyed by than it is a huge disruptor in your life. But of course, if anything here resonates and if I've got that wrong, drop me a comment and let me know, because that just helps me as a reader, helps me learn how to do my job here. But anyway, thank you so much for being here. I do hope that this reading has some way of helping you in a positive way in your life this week. If you like my reading style, also hitting like and subscribe is really kind of you. I thank you in advance. I notice a lot of you that are subscribing and do come back each week and watch the readings, and I appreciate that so much. It just makes me happy to know that I'm at least reaching out, touching someone, and hopefully helping you guys with whatever. I really enjoy reading tarot cards, so it's something I love to do, and I do love sharing it with you. So thanks again for being here. And Gemini, good luck with all this. I will see you next week. Bye-bye.